This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm speaking to Pedro, who is joining us all the way from Portugal today. How are you today, sir? The last time we saw you was 10 years ago, and our son was 2 weeks old, and he is 10 years old today. So that's some time since we last saw you.
It's interesting to see the coincidence, isn't it?
Yes. So how are you? How have things been at your winery over the last decade?
Oh, I think it's an interesting story. We manage the the company in the way that we have discussed the first time we met. So the main strategy is producing wines with our grapes in our property. So what you call independent wine grower. And of course, we learn a lot about the property, and we think we made a interesting uh, way, I think, for the company.
Now, for those people unfamiliar with your two properties, the one in the Dow and one in Vinho Verde, would you mind telling us a little bit about the history of both of them?
Mhm. So, in fact, we are one family, one business family. I'm a fourth generation,
Right.
and in the Quinta da Sanjoanne, we are here since 1891.
Right.
So, more than 120 years. And one day in 99, we decided that it was very important to develop the business and starting to produce red wines, and that was the idea to bought another property, and we chose Dow because Dow is very good for red wines, and then we bought that property near Viseu, 20 kilometers east from Viseu. Um, since that time, we enlarged the portfolio with the red wines,
Yes.
like the Quinta da Lotte and other wines, and we trying to manage the situation. We trying to do good wines. That's the idea.
Super. Now, how has your market been? Because we keep on hearing these stories about there being a surplus of wine within Europe. How has your business been through the course of the pandemic and into the present day?
Yeah, well, that's true. In fact, there are a little bit high production in the last years. However, um, what we think that this large uh, production are the ones in the intro level, you might say,
Yes.
and you know we don't do that kind of wines, so for us is not so um, a big issue. Of course, more wine in the business, less quite space for us exists. But we try to produce outstanding level wines, and then we think we can skip a little bit. It's not easy. I don't put that in terms of easier, but we try to skip that problem at this time in Europe. Is true. I think the most important problem is the diminution of consumption of
Yes.
wine in general terms in the world, except the Asia, of course. But for us, Asia is too far, and it's not easy to go there. And so for us, Asia is not a solution. and we try to manage in Europe and United States or in America or North America and South America, and then the consumption is in fact an issue that we trying to study and trying to find a way to go forward.
It's interesting. I'd be fascinated to hear what your study has discovered with regards to why people are drinking less wine.
Yeah, so, mainly in the red wines, there are a lot of discussions with my friends and people who knows in Bordeaux mainly,
Yeah.
of course, and he told us that the red wine is at the moment in the low level is very difficult to sell. And one of the reasons they discussed and then present is the fact that the family are changed. 20, 30, 40 years ago, everyone dinner together at 8 o'clock, and of course there are all the time a glass of water, a glass of wine in
Yes.
the meal.
Yeah.
If add to this, Sundays, the lunch of family are more important with all the family, not only the family, the small family, but the cousins
Extended family, yes.
and
Yep.
extended yes, the term is extended family, and the consumption of red are very important. So the issue is that in the last 10 years, it changed a lot in Europe. The families are nowadays completely different, and the moment of consumption for the reds are changed. It is not possible to drink all the reds, the wines the Europe can produce at the moment, I think.
Now, do you have the same thing in Portugal where the younger generations, many of them are turning
Yeah,
away from alcohol and not drinking alcohol at all?
I don't tell you it's not away from the alcohol.
Right.
It's away from the moment of drinking.
I see. I see. Interesting. Well,
Unfortunately, the alcohol Saturday night and Friday nights are the consumption, but
still
it's
the
not
same.
wine.
Still the same
It
as
is
it's
not
ever been in
wine.
Portugal. Okay.
Yeah, it's the same my time and your, I'm sure.
Interesting. Now, you're still a reasonably small company. What's the average annual production that you make there?
Well, in fact, we were very, very small. We have 14 hectares
Yeah.
in the Vinho Verde for the white wines, and 20 hectares for the reds in Quinta da Sanjoanne. And we produce around 80,000 bottles per year.
Now, where does the majority of that go?
We sell 50% in Portugal.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then Brazil, Canada, not LCBO, but SIQ.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
More SIQ than CBO. I think that after that interview, the sales are exploded in LCBO.
There you go.
And and we also sell in UK, Switzerland, Spain, Denmark, Switzerland, and Belgium.
Right.
I
Now
think
you're with Buyers and Cellars in Ontario now, and
yes,
we're going to
yes.
be tasting. This is the San Juan Terroir Mineral 2021 Branco, right?
Yeah. It's the same I have here.
There you go. Yeah, we're sharing a glass of wine. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying. We try.
Now, I've always found your Vinho Verde to be some of the most mineral-driven, terroir-driven Vinho Verde I have tasted. I know that you sometimes change the cepage from vintage to vintage, but in the 2021, are we talking about Avesso and Loureiro again?
Yes. In fact, what we trying to do all the time is the wines are prepared in a blend tasting. I have my glass here too.
Good, good.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And for the Terroir Mineral, the idea is to bring our mainly qualities of the soil, the grapes, and myself to the glass.
Yes.
And each time is different. Of course, the main grapes are Avesso and Loureiro, but as you know, we can have 5%, 2%, 5% of each one. Is not important in fact, because
you have about 8 varieties in Vinho Verde, right? That you work with.
Yes, I work with the same. Since we spoke 10 years ago. Yeah. If you want, I can repeat. But I know. I'm sorry. I skip one. I skip the Azal.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. I skipped the Azal because Azal it was for us not so important, so interesting to produce Vinho Verde wine, table wine. It's good for the sparkling, but we don't produce too many sparkling to have the grape variety in the field. So we skip the grape variety because we found in the Avesso also a good grape variety to produce the sparkling. So the sparkling at the moment is Avesso and the Rinto, and not Azal and the Rinto.
Right.
So
do you select Loureiro and Avesso for this wine because you feel they're the two grapes that basically work as a conduit for the terroir more than the other ones? So they really express the terroir.
In fact, Jamie, I select some parcels who have that grape varieties to produce this wine.
Right.
Okay, so it's starting in the parcel, in the plot.
I see.
And not with the grapes, not in the varietal grape. Okay, so that parcels we have is very interesting to produce with that grapes Avesso and Loureiro, that minerality in the wine. Okay, however, it's the part of the property, the parcels who are more rich soil. Okay, because we have more high premium wine that also Buyers Cellars he has is this one is the Quinta da Sanjoanne Herança 2000. This one it comes from Avesso also, Avesso and Malvasia Fina, but the soils are much more poor soil.
I see.
So the Avesso is completely different. Is not is intense, is very long. Of course, the minerality is always present in the wines, but it's not so intense that in the Terroir Mineral is another thing.
The Terroir Mineral almost has this, there's this salinity that one would find in good Vinho Verde, but there's almost a metallic edge to it in this. And I mean that in a very good way. It's something that I enjoy in the wine. Would that be a fair enough observation?